Well, first of all, thank you very much for the question. The question has to do with reading. How can I start reading if I want a good way, let's say, a way that can help me grow or develop in a very short time, or I can just see some change in myself when I start reading? Well, the question is a bit complicated because there are a lot of ways to answer. It depends on where you live, it depends on what level you want, it depends on what kind of specializations you have. You just want to learn English language or you have another proficiency, etc. Well, first of all, let's talk about reading um, for the sake of learning how to read in English language in particular. Well, there are three ways. I can just say some of them, ladies and gentlemen. Here, you can just listen to me if you like. You may like one of the ways that I really say, or I'm going to say. Well, number one, you have to know that reading is one of the skills now really is going to help you how to speak. When you develop reading, I think you're going to notice how importantly you really need to read to learn how to speak. Reading will empower your speaking. Reading will improve your speaking. Reading will teach you how to have a lot of vocabulary, how to gain vocabulary. Everybody wants to learn vocabulary in a particular way, reading a lot of vocabulary and trying to memorize them every day, having 2 or 3 or 10 words every day to read. Well, that's not really a nice way. The better way, according to native speakers, a lot of teachers from London, from America, they say the best way gaining vocabulary is reading. Well, but this is not. It has nothing to do with vocabulary. It absolutely has to do how can I read? What do I have to read? Here we have some answers, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can just listen to these answers. And I wish if I just say them clearly, help you a bit to start reading from this video, from this recording at least. First of all, you have to read small things. I want you to start reading by every day picking up 10 lines. Yeah, only 10. I don't want to say 5, but 10 is a very nice beginning. Every day, I want you to pick up 10 lines and start reading them in a quiet place, grabbing your coffee or grabbing your tea, whatever you really like. Choose a place that you absolutely want to find yourself in. A situation, or let's say an environment that you really wish that if you can read something here, 2 lines or 3, pick up 10 lines every day. Do that for 2 weeks. It would be nice. 2 weeks. After that, I wanted to grow and go to, smaller stories or shorter stories. I wanted to start reading everyday shorter stories. You can just pick up some articles. You can go to pick up these shorter stories from books, from magazines, from newspapers, wherever you find them, no problem. I want you to search shorter stories. Shorter stories, ladies and gentlemen, will help you not get bored. You find yourself eager to read more and more. It will encourage you to stay awake, that you can read more every day. Well, so 10 lines, improve them into shorter stories, into small books that has 25 pages or 50 pages, not more than 100 or 100 something. You don't have to pick up like 400 or large book written by Barack Obama or Michelle Obama or Rishi Sunak. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this one has to do with very similar to listening. I see that a lot of beginners who've just started today learning English, joining some institute or any other tutor or going online, And then they immediately go to YouTube and download Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Rishi Sunak, and all these big people. You know, these ladies and gentlemen are smart people, leaders, all these big smart people. They put very big vocabulary. They pick up vocabulary that has to do with politics, has to do with idioms, has to do with very big topics. You don't need to know that. You absolutely need to go with short conversations, with here and there things, you know. Short conversation like introducing yourself, talking about the weather, the atmosphere, what you did today, what you're going to do tomorrow, going for short trip, etc. You don't need to go about, let's say, ladies and gentlemen, listening to Rishi Sunak or Theresa May or so forth. Listen to such things. Now, you do the same thing in reading. I want you to go with shorter stories, 10 lines, and then shorter stories, and then the small books. 50 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages, and 40, something within this number. It will be wonderful for you to keep close to reading. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, pick up something interesting. You don't have to read about sport and you have nothing to do with sport. You don't have to read about politicians or politics in general, and you really don't find yourself there. I want you to pick up books that really you interested in reading them. You want to know more about, and don't worry about the vocabulary. Some people, they just go, let's say, very literal. They take everything word by word. When there's a word they don't understand, they just pause for a long time. No, don't worry. Read a book. I want you to know in general what this book is all about. Understand the meaning, the whole story, not the word. You don't have to go word by word. Understand the whole story, the whole thing, what this book talks about. That's what you need to learn, what you need to know. But don't stop in any word, brothers and sisters. Okay? So here we go quickly. I start by reading every day 10 lines for 2 weeks, and then jump into shorter stories, and then start by reading small books, something you really like reading it. And here's the thing. I want you to do this for 6 months before you go to big large books or something like this. Before you go to, well, I like that title. When you go to the market, you see every title, every headline, or when you hear some people talking about interesting books, and like you go like, well, I want to talk about this one, I want to read this book. Don't read what people read. Read what you can read, what you find yourself in. Do not read what other people do. Some people study medicine. They want to learn more about medical things and medical idioms and all these kind of things. So what are you going to do with that one? If you just want to learn a language or English language, what are you going to do with all these things? You have to read things related to English language. You had to talk about conversations. You had to talk about how you learn. Things like this. See? So in the next one, I'm going to talk about the next step, brothers.